Hello and welcome back to openheatloss.com and my instruction videos on how to input all the data and complete a heat loss calculation plus system design using OpenHeatLoss. And we are now on the fourth video, which we will now look at the MCS020, and that is the MCS's sound calculation for permitted development. So this is a little procedure that you need to go through if you're putting in a heat pump, and this really determines whether your heat pump can be put in without having to apply for planning permission. It's a fairly basic procedure, nothing major to do, but obviously it is quite important, particularly if you are doing this as a heating engineer and you want MCS certification and you want a bus grant and all that sort of stuff. But if you're doing it for your own house and or a self-build, you know, it's worth doing it anyway, because at least then you kind of know where you're at with noise and permitted development, just in case somebody asks the question. So at least it can get done. Now, I'm just going to go through this process really quite briefly with you. I'm not going to go through detailed sort of procedural instructions as to how you do it, but it will all be contained pretty much within my description of this, and you should be in a fairly good position to be able to do one yourself after watching this video anyway. So what do you need to do? So obviously you go to MCS020 tab in the app, and then here at the top you have your heat pump sound data, and you have the A weighted sound power level, dBA. Now every manufacturer is required to publish this, and you will find this in the specifications, or there will also be kind of some brochure that will tell you, or even you can go to MCS database to actually look up that data. It's fairly easy to find. Now I'm going to use just an example from, let's say I'm going to off the top of my head take a Grant 9 kilowatt Arona 290, and I think that one has 53.6 decibels as its published dBA sound power level. So we're going to put that one in, and then what's going to happen here is we now go down to our assessment positions. So to define your assessment position, what you really need to do is go to where you are planning to put your heat pump, and from there you need to obviously it's handy to put in a description of where this is, and let's say I'll put this in just as left hand side of house, just for example, and that's just as facing John's bedroom, you know. So for example, that's John the neighbour's bedroom, and this is our ideal location for the heat pump. Now what I want to do after that is I want to look at what we call the directivity and the number of reflecting surfaces. So we have an option here, and we have one reflecting surface, which is ground or single wall. So it might be that if the heat pump is sitting in completely open space with no boundaries or no barriers or surfaces within about a meter of the heat pump, then these are not considered to be reflective surfaces. So in that sense you just have one, because the heat pump is going to be either sitting on the ground or it might be on a wall, high up on the wall away from the ground, with nothing else reflecting the sound. Now obviously if that's the situation, this is what you select. On a Q4 basis, it's two reflecting surfaces. So this is really common because the heat pump is sat on the ground on its base, and it is usually as close to a house wall as it possibly can get to, or sometimes it's as close to a fence or something like that as it can get to, for the purposes of neatness and taking the least amount of space out of the garden that you possibly can do. And then we have 3 reflecting surfaces, so that would be that you've got the heat pump sitting in an inside internal corner or something like that. So those are really your standard selections. It doesn't apply that if you have got 3 walls, so that you're kind of in like some kind of, you've boxed the whole heat pump in. This doesn't apply, but we're not going to cover that for now, okay? So these are just your standard normal things for MCS020. Now what you then want to do is you want to stand at what you think is going to be the center of the heat pump, and you need to make a measurement towards a habitable room. So you'd be doing this towards like a window or something like that, or even a some people do it towards a door. But the thing is that they consider habitable rooms to be bedrooms and living rooms, not bathrooms, toilets, corridors, or utility rooms. So here you go, like that. Yeah. So really, you're looking to take a measurement to a habitable room, and normally that's going to be your doors or your windows to those. So you take a measurement. Now what you also have to then bear in mind is that this measurement is supposed to be to 1 meter away from, so the position is 1 meter from that window or door of that habitable room. So you take that measurement, and I'm just going to say, all right, we're at 6.5 meters, for example, and there we go. It's as simple as. Then we need to look at your barrier. So if you've got a completely open, clear view, no barrier at all, it's fairly obvious. So you just put in no barrier. And then you've got a more sort of substantial barrier, which is solid brick wall or a fence that is more than 18 millimeters thick. Now, in that sort of instance, you need to then look at where and how you can kind of see the assessment position from your from the heat pump position. Now, if you just can't see that assessment position at all, then you are looking at putting up a no view. So you've got completely obscured barrier, and it just can't be seen. Now, the partial view is that if you take your eyes from the top of the heat pump, for example, and move up to 25 centimeters from the edge of the heat pump, and you can then see it during that movement, then you technically have a partial view. So that is one little test you've got to do there. And then obviously no view is just completely obscured by the barrier. So that gets put in, obviously, if you have type 1 or you have type 2 solid fence that's less than 18 millimeters thick. So you just need to think about this, is that can you see that assessment position from the top of the heat pump? No. If you can't, can you see it if you move your head from the top to 25 centimeters above it? If you can, partial view. If you can't, then you have no view whatsoever. So you just put no view. That obviously then automatically does the calculations. So for example, what we're going to do here, I'm just going to put no barrier and full view for argument's sake on this one. And then I'm going to calculate my sound levels. So this calculates, so calculated permitted development is 37 dB. We are just inside that at 35.4. So that's passed. And so what has happened here is we've got a calculation date and time for audit purposes. And we have an overall assessment result of this passes. Now, what they do recommend is taking various different measurements if there are different habitable rooms or different sides of the house that you want to do. So, we're just going to add another one just for the hell of it. And we will do, what are we going to do? We're going to do this left-hand side of house again. And we're going to do this, and we're going to say that this is the facing John's living room. John's living room. Now, this is going to be still 3 reflecting surfaces as we selected accidentally up there. And we're going to say that for argument's sake, this one is, let's just put 8 meters. And then we're going to say that, we've got a solid fence in the way of that one. And we've got no view because the fence is 1.8 meters high. And that's a lot higher than the actual heat pump is. Now, of course, this comes up as fail because it hasn't done the calculation yet. So don't worry about that. What you do have to do is just make sure that you pay attention to this. Inputs have changed, and just recalculate and save. So here we go. We've done a recalculation, and just to be sure, yeah, that's below there. So we've got 2 positions that we've looked at. Both of them are a pass. Brilliant. So if you need to, you can just export the assessment to a PDF so that you can save it, just in case you want to be safe and sure and sound that you have got that done. And there you go. So there is your sound assessment. So if you're obviously a heating engineer, you can save this into your customer's folder and send it to them as well, so that they know that the sound assessment has been done and it's passed and you're all ready to go. And you'll also want to send this along with the installation pack at the end of the job too. So there you go. That one's fairly straightforward, I reckon. And again, if you are doing this just to do a heat loss calculation and a sizing, and you're looking to do a system design, you don't have to put any of this in, by the way. This is just really for compliance purposes. We are just talking about, dotting the I's, crossing the T's and so forth. But if you just want to do room by room heat loss, you don't need to do this at all. So there you go. That is MCS020 completed. If you've got any comments or questions, please do leave them down below the video. Otherwise, please do subscribe to follow for the next videos that are coming up. I will be doing a series of other videos to do with heating system design and all of that sort of stuff, as well as more instructional videos. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next video when we're going to be tackling the U-value library. Oh, what fun. See you soon.